Hi everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to my channel. Today it's time for the September no buy update. Where is the time going? I felt like I just put up that update last week. But in all fairness, that update, did take a little longer to go out. Same with the month before that. But hopefully I'm on a bit of a better schedule now to get them going up earlier in the month, kind of closer to October 1st. We are going to do the how I'm doing. We're going to do the what I bought, what I'm lusting after, what's on the wish list. And then I'm going to bring a bit of like a budgeting update as well, kind of looking to the future. So that's what we have in store today. My no buy updates are like the longest videos on my channel because I always feel like I have so much to say, and they're really cathartic for me too. So prepare for a longer video. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm also feeling like pumpkin vibes today with my sweater. It's also raining outside, like pouring rain, and it's Friday afternoon and I'm just ready to burn a candle, watch a Halloween movie, and have a fabulous night. That's kind of what I'm feeling, but that doesn't really pertain to the update. Okay, how I'm doing. My mental health it has been like going in a positive direction, which has been really good. I would say I'm having much more positive days and good days than bad ones. And that's really important for me. My work and getting back to work has been way slower than I felt possible or that I hoped for, but it is coming back. And what I found is that days when I'm struggling, I kind of turn to YouTube to edit, to film. So I think in the first couple weeks of October, you're going to be getting a little bit more content from me. And that's, I guess, a response. That's a reason why. I did also want to say that I'm going to be experimenting with some different posting times to adjust to when you're on YouTube. And this channel is growing and I'm so proud of that. And I'm so proud of the community that we're building here. I feel like your support for me has been so kind, so gracious and supportive. And I also hope that like I'm also creating that positive atmosphere for you, and that like your opinions and comments are being valued and appreciated. And so I guess I had said in the last two videos, I was nervous to post about it because, I was worried about failure and those kinds of things. But I no longer feel nervous or apprehensive about talking about how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, how the month is going, because I have owned my no buy and I have owned how I'm doing. And that process I've already talked about, but I also feel like that community building that we're doing is part of that. And that has had such a positive influence on my no buy. So I thank you for that. Yeah, so I was saying I'm going to be experimenting with some uploading times. Recently, because of the influx of visitors, more analytics are appearing, and that is a new analytic to me is when you're on YouTube, or at least it's appearing in a different way than it has before. So for now, I'm going to be working with Sunday and Thursday at noon. We're going to try that out, and if it doesn't work, we'll adjust, but I wanted to give you a heads up. It might have already changed by the time you see this, but now this is your formal knowledge that it is changing. I am going to talk about COVID for just a little bit because it's really impacting how I'm doing. If you don't want to hear about it, I'll put a timestamp here when I am done talking about it and when it's safe to return to the video. A couple weeks ago, schools reopened in my province. Students have had a choice of whether they want to learn online or in class. And ever since then, our cases have been rising. They've steadily been increasing since the beginning of September. The last kind of 3 weeks, the cases have just skyrocketed. We're now seeing cases higher than when we were at our worst in my province. So I live in Ontario, and our worst was like 640 cases. That was its peak. We already passed that last week with 700 cases. Today it's in the mid 700s, I think, highest to date. And kind of since that peak, we've been around 500 to 600, and now this is the highest one. And my province, I don't really feel like has prioritized keeping people safe. You can still go to bars and gyms and go to workout classes, and you can go to the mall, and businesses and economics are being prioritized over safety of the people. It's very worrying because I don't really feel like my province is doing, and our premier, Doug Ford, primarily Doug Ford isn't doing what I feel like he should be doing to keep people safe. Schools should not be in session. They should be learning online. People shouldn't be able to go shopping inside. We shouldn't be able to have bars and gyms open. It's just kind of crazy that reductions haven't happened. I just checked before filming this video that it sounds like some of that's happening in Ottawa and Toronto, which are like hotspots, but there's not really much happening. And so I'm starting to get nervous again about, what's going to happen. Is my family going to be home again? Is it going to be all of us in the house at the same time? And also, my grandfather was just in the hospital last week with a bit of a scare. And it's so scary because he's not protecting himself. He's 92 years old and he's going out into public, and he's not taking basic hygiene precautions, sanitary precautions. He's not doing it, and he's still going out shopping, and he's 92. He could have exposed himself, because of his shopping. And it's such a stressful time. What's the next few months going to look like? That's more of my concern. What are things with my family going to look like? What are things with my partner going to look like? And I'm trying my best not to think about it and try to just live my life right now. But it's really challenging because, mid-March to beginning of May were some of the hardest time for my family and between me and my partner. Not that our relationship has been bad, but we didn't see each other. When your mental health is struggling, to have those supports taken away from you, that's difficult. I'm not saying that I am incapable of taking care of myself or dealing with this situation, but my partner, he is my support in life. And when things get challenging, separation when you are already struggling is difficult. I hope I'm not implying that we are dependent or, clingy, but when things are hard, I rely on him because he is my partner and he is such a source of positivity and love in my life and happiness, support. He contributes to my life in such a meaningful and positive way, such a supportive way, that it's difficult when I can't have that in ways that I'm used to. So that is a concern of mine, and I'm really trying my best to not worry about that until it comes, and because maybe it won't, and deal with that as it goes. So I feel like that's the most emotional I've really been on my channel. I don't know how much I cut out, but I was getting emotional about it. Yeah, I'm just worried of getting back into that headspace in that difficult time that I experienced months ago, knowing what that feels like and feeling like it's inevitable. I don't want to feel like it's inevitable to just be like, yeah, okay, let me just feel it, because I don't want to if I don't have to, but it feels like it's coming, and I'm trying hard to work on that. In terms of my job though, my job is not going to change until at least December. I actually don't foresee it changing unless my school closes and decides not to host students, not to educate. I will have a job unless that decision is made. My pay is not affected, my job is not affected, and we've already prepared for online learning into the spring. So I will have a job and I will have pay and work until then. I guess the only concern come 2021 is that I do belong in a union, and we are up for a bargaining year. To be a TA in Ontario generally means to be part of a union. So I'm a bit nervous for a strike to happen. It's more common at this particular school. Not that it happens every year that there's that we're in a bargaining position. So I don't know how that's gonna go down. How do you strike when you can't go to the campus to physically strike? I'm a bit nervous for that, but school is keeping me so busy. My class is actually really awesome, but we've been dealing with some racism in that class, and that has been very stressful. Trying to maneuver that and work with the students, that's been a challenge. I don't know if I talked about my last update, but back in my May update, I talked about losing a grant, and I had to reapply for that this year. And kind of my mood and my attitude, I really didn't care about school for a few months. A very weird kind of headspace I was in. And I just, like, for a long time was like, even in September when I had to prepare this, was just like, I could care less about school. Like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. And I had to work on this application. So near the last couple of days, it did turn around a bit. And in the end, I'm really proud of the work that I put out. I know that it's my best effort. I know it's a good proposal, whether somebody else knows it or not. So I'm really proud of that. There was some really great input for that. And, you know, I hope things go well. We'll see. So one of the things I've been kind of doing is I've been looking much more to the future. I've been looking to 2021, and I'm going to talk more about that near the end. But at the very beginning of the year, I felt like this was a momentous task I was taking on. A full year is so freaking long. It's long. And like, I doubted, Shauna, can you do this? Do you have it in you to do this? I doubted myself, but I'm here, like, I'm doing it. Like, I'm doing it. It's almost like we're almost at the end of the year. And COVID has made this year really crazy, really slow, really fast. It's been bananas. It's been a crazy year, and I'm just kind of like, I'm really proud that I'm at that point where I'm like, yeah, I can see the end. Like, I'm starting to think now, okay, what's after? And I hadn't thought about that, you know, here and there. But mostly I'm so proud of myself for being here and being where I am. Let's talk about what I bought. And before we do that, I want to quickly just mention the fact that my view on backups has changed. I did talk about this before, probably in March or April, but I actually didn't think I would be back in this spot thinking about what are my basics, like basic skincare essentials, like the very, very basics, which are moisturizer, face wash, body wash. Those are the essentials. Like, I can live with a skincare routine like that for a while. What are those, and do I have enough to last like 3 to 6 months? Is this like a frivolous kind of discussion? Probably, because there are definitely more important things in life. But at the same time, when I'm thinking about COVID, when I'm thinking about like the second wave that we're in, I'm already like scared to go to the store, and I just don't want to do it. I decided to buy some backups of just a couple of things. This is not normal to buy backups. I'd never condone them, but this is not a time where I want to be using the post office, where I want delivery drivers coming to the house. I also don't want to be going to the grocery store to buy these things, or the drugstore to buy these things. So I just bought them now. Guess what? I use all my skincare. I will use it. So I bought a couple of extra things to have on backup, so I just don't have to think about it, because it does stress me out to think about some of these things. So my backups, I bought 2. I feel like that's really reasonable. So I bought 1 backup of a daily moisturizer and 1 backup of a cleanser. I have been trying out the cleanser just to like see if I like it, and it's the Derma E Vitamin C Daily Brightening Cleanser. I talked about the Herbivore facial soap. I did buy that last month. I've been using it and I've been loving it. I have been loving it, and one of the videos I hope to bring you by the end of the year, there's lots of videos I hope to bring you to talk about some skincare products that I'm loving that are vegan and clean. And that's one that I've been loving. I've been using it for almost a month now, and I love it. I really, really have been enjoying it. So that's one. And then I have this one. The packaging on this is like having a pump. Pumps aren't recyclable, so maybe this wasn't the best choice, but I have been liking Derma E. This has just been like an average kind of cleanser, but you don't need that review on that now. So I did buy this, and Derma E was on sale, so that's why I bought this particular one. And then the other thing I bought is this Pure Annada Daily Moisturizer. It has no scent, and it's for sensitive skin. This is a Canadian brand. I have tried some of their skincare and makeup in the past. I like their mascara, and they also have a cleanser that is very gentle, like one of the most kind of basic cleansers you can have. And I almost did buy that one, but I opted for this one instead, maybe next time, because I was thinking that it would be too basic and not do enough for my oily skin. So I have not tried this. This is just a pure and simple backup. I technically only purchased one other thing with my money. The rest I used like points, and so they were free. But one of the things I want to talk about that is so exciting are these True Earth Eco Laundry Detergent strips. I did get them gifted by the company. They are not sponsoring anything. They just sent them. There's no obligation to review or talk about it. I wanted to bring this up because I did get it. I have been using it, and I actually really love these. If you would like a review on these products, please let me know, because I do have enough opinions on these to give a full review. I have the fragrance free and then the fresh linen scent. They come in just like a little strip, and they feel, I don't know how to describe it, but it's so weird. It has a very, almost like a waxy kind of feel. It's very, very interesting. So if you have a top load, you just put it in there. If you have a front load, you put it into you like rip it up, and then you put it into your little compartment. And this is for one load. Smaller one, you rip it in half. Bigger one, you use two. And it works. It works, guys. I really love this, and I had already been looking at this company and other detergent strips before I was offered these, which is why I accepted them. I have actually been offered other PR or gifted items in the past, but I have declined them all. But I had already been like primed to enjoy this because I'd already been looking at these products because they are more eco-friendly. All of this is recycled packaging. There's no plastic, and they were sent to me in a little paper mailer, and they work. The only downside to me for this product is that the strips have gotten, like, they've kind of congealed at the bottom of my soap dispenser, so I just put it inside. And it could be a downside for you is that the strip itself has a scent, but when you put it in with your laundry, they don't really have a scent to it. I was a bit disappointed in that I was kind of hoping for more fragrance on the clothes, and that wasn't the case. The unscented has, like, the actual strip has a scent to it, but the clothes don't. I'm so proud that this is a company who wanted to send me something, and I just love them, and I would totally recommend them. They are a Canadian company, which is amazing. So if you want a full review comparing prices to other strip laundry detergents to other detergents on the market, doing a test, using them as a test or demonstrating them, putting them head to head with another detergent, if you would like to see that, please let me know so I can provide that content for you. I do think I'm going to need a more kind of comprehensive PR policy. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later with like how I should go about kind of shifting my channel once my no buy is over and like what that's going to look like. And I think that a PR policy needs to go along with that. So I have 4 other things to talk about. The last thing that I bought with my money is this e.l.f. complexion sponge. I thought it was the same as as the e.l.f. sponge I was using at the beginning of the year. It's not, and I don't think that I like this, but I do need to try it more. I did try it today, and I've only tried it one time. So there is just a little bit more testing that needs to be done with that. And the last three things I did buy with points from my grocery store. So the first thing was this Auburn brow pencil. I got this when I colored my hair and I wanted to try out the pencil. So if I needed a different brow color, I could adjust at that point and see if this was right for me. And I have really been loving this particular color. And I think that once it's done, like I just have a little bit left. I think once it's done, I am gonna go to the brand and get another more long-term product with this color in it, with this color. Probably their pomade or their brow gel, something like that. This combined with like my regular brown brow gel is just really nice. I also bought this color correcting set. This is from Quo, it's a Canadian brand. I've been looking at ways to play with like a natural makeup routine. And one of the things I've seen is, and this was from an old Linda Hallberg tutorial, was to use the yellow on blemishes. So I've been playing with this and I've never owned color correctors before. And I like this so far. I've used it a couple of times and I'm really glad to have this. The last thing is from Wet n Wild. I did buy this little eyeshadow palette. Well, I guess with my points I bought it. It's a super neutral color story and it's an older palette. It is the, what's it called? Oh, it's Nude Awakening. You've probably seen this before. It's really kind of cool tone, basic, neutral colors. I like this. It provides a really subtle, natural eye look. And that's exactly the kind of thing I have been enjoying. Oh, actually, there's one more thing. It's been, here it is. It was hiding. The last thing I bought was a setting spray and I got the all-nighter setting spray. I did decide on this one because I do know that it's vegan and it was also 50% off in the beginning of September for Labor Day. So I bought this because it was probably like one of the best deals that I could get. And I also, I guess, before I move on to what I'm lusting after, there's something from Glossier in there and the Wet n Wild palette. In my most recent what like brands I'm not supporting, I did talk about Wet n Wild and I kind of regret buying it for that reason, that I misremembered. I thought that Wet n Wild had made pledges to kind of do better, but they didn't. You know my thoughts on Wet n Wild now if you watch that video. And yes, I misremembered what they had promised and I think I need to do better in the future too. Now, what I'm lusting after, I really enjoyed this segment from the last video, so I'm bringing it back. It's helpful for me to kind of talk about what I'm enjoying. So I am really lusting after the Glossier You fragrance. I can't get it out of my mind after trying that sample, and that was like a month ago. But again, I'm not really supporting Glossier at the moment. That's a wait and see brand. Again, if you've seen that video, you'll know how I feel about them. The other thing from last month that I'm still really want is Rare Beauty. Their concealer and their lip products, their lip cream and their lip balm. Yes, really want to try all of those things. I'm having a bit of, it's not FOMO because I feel like I am missing out, but I don't need them and I really want to try them and support that brand. And the Charlotte Tilbury primer. I want that thing so bad still. I still really want that Charlotte Tilbury primer. New to the list are the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs. I've really been loving. Oh my God, I forgot. Hold on. Okay, I just ran to go get it. I cannot believe I almost forgot to talk about two things that I got. If you see my Instagram and my lip gloss video, then you would know what I'm talking about. I used my Sephora gift card on exactly what I said that I would. The Natasha Denona Glam Palette and the Tower 28 Lip Gloss. I freaking love these two things. I love them. I have absolutely no regrets. I have been loving this color. It's so beautiful. I never thought I would be a brown lip gloss kind of person. It's freaking amazing. The Natasha Denona, look at this. This is beautiful. It's beautiful. I love this so incredibly much. I love this. No regrets, no regrets. I had to talk about it. So as I was saying, what I'm lusting after, Fenty Beauty gloss bombs. I never thought it would be a brown lip gloss lover, but this lip gloss, and that's why I remembered, is making me want chocolate and that Fenty set. If it's available after Christmas, I might get it. I'm gonna have to think about it because makeup loving Shauna wants to get it once, you know, if it's available after Christmas, but at the same time, it's like, Shauna, do you need it? Could you use all of these lip glosses with all the things you already have? Would you be better off with getting one instead of that whole set? So these are some questions for, you know, 2021, but also maybe for Christmas because I want them. And I'm trying not to, I'm trying to talk myself out of it, out of these things, you know, but that's why I'm talking about it now. So I would consider asking for like a gloss bomb for Christmas or getting one after. But this is just what I'm lusting after right now. And number one on the lusting after list right now is the M Cosmetics Divine Skies palette. I've seen so many beautiful looks, especially recently from Tara Brooke. Love her channel. I really want this palette, but the shipping to Canada is kind of expensive. Now I want to talk about looking forward and kind of budgeting. I realized after that last video, my last no buy video, that I haven't talked about budgeting over the summer. It wasn't an intentional omission, honestly. I didn't realize it until after that video, but I understand why it played out the way that they did for two reasons. I wasn't earning an income and I wasn't actually budgeting. It wasn't as though I was being financially irresponsible or overspending because you guys have seen what I bought. It wasn't as though I just kind of quit my no buy. That's not what happened. I wasn't budgeting like I had in the past. And part of that I think was I was uninterested in like the headspace I was in. I was uninterested in doing these things and thinking about my money because the moment I budget, the moment I'm more conscious of these things. And if I were to, let's say, spend a little bit more money in one area, then sometimes it's giving me some anxiety about that. But budgeting for me as a whole is good and it's beneficial to my life and I fundamentally believe in it. So I created my October budget. It's all up and running. I do love budgeting, but it was just not something that I could do in the headspace I was in the summertime. So I'm very glad that it's back in my life and that I'm doing it because I do love it and I feel like it's so beneficial to my life and to my financial health. So my question to you is that would you be interested in seeing a budgeting video, how I do it, what I use? If there is no interest, then, you know, no harm, no foul. I just will continue to do it privately for myself. And I also, to create more accountability for me because of that lack of budgeting, to make sure that I didn't fall into that trap again, would be one, I created my budget, but two is that I created like a spending tracker on Instagram that I update every day. So even if nobody's looking at it, that knowledge every day that I have to post that information is like an extra level of accountability and something I kind of wish I had been doing for a little bit longer. So that is a mechanism I'm using to ensure that that budgeting is kind of staying in place. Okay, one last interesting piece of information that has come out. Hold please. So I have been keeping track of my account balances since February. My dumb self threw out that information. It was all in a planner and I got a new one. I talked about it last month, I think. My planner, there's no budgeting information in here. And so I got rid of it once I got this planner and I'm kind of angry at myself that I did because all my financial information was gone. I did my best on reconstructing that information and I based all of my numbers, 2 of my accounts from January 3rd and 1 account from December 31st. That was as close to January as I could get. You are not gonna believe this, but the amount I've saved since January 1st, and I was looking into this because we're at 3/4 of the year. I did an update at like halfway, and so I wanted a financial update for myself for October. This year, I've saved an estimated $17,000. It's blowing my mind. It makes me want to cry because I've basically doubled my savings in a year. And part of this makes me kind of angry because it's like, if you weren't so frivolous, you could have really had a lot of money here. I could have had the down payment of a house already. That's not always been possible because I've always had tuition and I've always had expenses. It wasn't until I became a PhD student that all of my school expenses have been paid for by the school. A lot of this, my savings, is me saving because of my no-buy year and budgeting, but also COVID. I'm not taking ballet. I don't have a gym membership anymore. And I also have no transportation to school. So that's over $250 a month I'm saving on things that were like, transportation has been a fixed expense and not something I saw kind of going away. So that is responsible for a fair bit of that savings as well. But either way, I'm so incredibly proud of myself for this savings. Like I'm blown away that I've done that me, Shauna, have done that. The last thing I want to talk about is looking forward to 2021. In 2021, my year is changing. I'm no longer going to be on the no buy. And so I'm starting to think about what I want the channel to look like when I have money to spend and like how I want to spend that money. I have some vague plans for this. Like, I basically want 2021 to be a low buy. I have a little bit more specific details on that, but I kind of want to keep them to myself until that time. But there's a lot of things that I don't have an idea on. And like, there's nuances, right? I'm trying to think about, how do I feel about purchasing things to review on the channel? If I'm okay with that, how do I do that in a way that's financially feasible for me, in a way that I feel like reflects my values, in a way that's like not buying to buy and not trying to try? Do I create a personal use budget for replacements only, and then like a YouTube review budget? Because if I buy makeup, I think the case would generally be replacement or to bring something to the channel. That's probably what it would be, one or the other. So do I create these separate budgets or categories? And I want some time to think about it now before 21. So like, I can have a plan in place for 2021 and then have a few months to play around with these ideas, to change my mind, to think about it and rethink as needed. And so some of the kinds of ideas I've had that I've wanted to maybe bring to the channel, some examples would be, this year I have a couple video ideas, like talking about Black-owned beauty brands that I want to try, or talking about sustainable and clean beauty brands that I want to try too. So talking about the ones I want to try, and then in 2021, buying some products from those brands and then bringing a review. And what I was kind of thinking would be, every quarter have one of those themed videos. So one could be from Black Beauty, one quarter. Another quarter could be on sustainable beauty, trying those brands. Another could be sustainable fashion. And so, or just do two, right? Or not quarters. I would probably want to do it like 3 times a year and not 4. So every 4 months, bring one of those themed videos and take those 3 to 4 months to accumulate some product, not a lot. Like, we're not talking like thousands of dollars in hauls. And I also don't want to perpetuate haul culture and be a haul channel. That's not what I want to do. But if I spread that purchasing, let's say buy from 3 Black-owned brands, I wouldn't purchase them all at once because I would want it to be financially sustainable for me. So purchase from one brand this month and one brand this month, and give myself some time to try these things out and then talk about them. And to me, that feels like something that aligns with my ethics and my you know, financial sustainability and my channel sustainability, and like my own personal ethics of consumption. So those were some kinds of ideas that I was toying with to bring in 2021. But that would also mean at some point having a haul, and also buying that's in a way like I wouldn't buy products just to try them. I would still buy, let's say I bought skincare from, there's one particular Black-owned brand who has some skincare that I've been eyeing. So if there's a couple of products from that brand I wanted to try, I would buy products with the intention of what I want to use up fully, and then buy a couple of those things. And so that's, I feel like, how I would frame it. This is my thought. There are some things to figure out, and I feel like I'm in that process of figuring it out. And I do have some apprehension and nerves about it because more and more of you are finding me through my no-buy content, and my no-buy year is changing my life. Like, it has changed my life. I think that if I were to transition to a low buy, there's still low buy content to be made. And that's where I would want to be. But then I'm nervous to transition because I feel as though I have set myself up to be this like, don't buy anything at all kind of person. And I've kind of had to take that attitude for myself to say no to new releases. And sometimes it's been easy, and sometimes I like don't want to participate in consumer culture at all. And other moments it's like I don't just want to haul $500 worth of makeup, but at the same time it's like I do want new things and I do want to try stuff, but not try. Like, I want the Fenty lip gloss because I think I would use it and enjoy it, but it's not a necessity because I already have lip glosses. So I'm trying to find this balance here of like, of this no-buy person that I've kind of set myself up during the no-buy year, and then creating a new balance come 2021, buying responsibly. And there are lots of things that I believe in. I think that consumer culture is rampant. I think that there's too much consumption. I think that consumer culture is wasteful and haul culture is wasteful. And I think that there are lots of problems that I don't want to contribute to. But I do also, I feel like there's some use value in reviews on this channel, but reviews of things that I would want to try and I would want to use up. So that's like a total jumble of thoughts. And I have lots of thoughts about 2021 and a bit of my apprehension about what I'm going to do with like my channel policy, even like on gifts, because again, like I wouldn't, if Sephora was like, hey, we want to give you $1,000 to do a haul on your channel, I don't know if I would take that right now because that's counterintuitive to the no buy year. And I feel like it's promoting things that I don't want to promote. So I think that a PR policy is going to be different during a no buy year than in a low buy year, but I would still want to approach that as ethically and like true to myself as possible. I don't know if this last part makes sense about what I'm concerned about and how I want my channel to go, but there are some concerns there. But I guess ultimately, like if I feel like I'm being true to myself, like yes, 2021 is a low buy year. You're no longer in no buy, so people aren't going to be expecting that same content from you. I think that there is going to be a lot of crossover because my values aren't changing. I don't think my purchasing habits are going to be changing that drastically. So I have some things to sort out, and this is exactly why I'm giving myself time to think through some of my own things I'm apprehensive about and why, and kind of dealing with that over the next couple months to really set myself up and this channel in a good place for 2021. That is my very chatty no buy year update for September. We're in October. I'm getting so excited to finish the year, to be able to be like, you know what, y'all, I did it. I did it, man. Like, I'm doing it. And I'm so excited to finish the year. Not because I want the no buy year to be over, but to be like, yeah, I did it. We're getting close. And I'm just excited. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I would love to see you again around here soon. Stop by, click subscribe so you know when I upload new videos. I would love to have you here. that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.